for a nice game of Rune Link. Hello? Anybody there? Wow, I guess nobody hangs out in the Berthorpe Games room. Who'd have thought? Well, if I can't get my kicks from Rune Link, we'll have to go elsewhere. I think it's time we opened up our world some more. Looks like we're off on a chunk hunt. Welcome back to Chunk Hunt, everybody. I am so glad to see you again. So where we left off last time, we just unlocked this chunk right here in Draenor Village and completed our first beginner clue scroll, which actually got us our first ever unique, that being the Sandwich Lady top. Absolutely beautiful, look at that. So we're going to start this episode off by changing up our gear. Beautiful, we've got our lovely axe. Now, what I want to do this time to start things off with is a little bit of woodcutting. Oh, okay, I only have 10 woodcutting and I need 11 to actually use this black axe, so we're going to have to go and get a bronze one out to start ourselves off with. Anyway, we're going to start off the episode by woodcutting normal logs and moving our way up to willows, and we're going to continue doing that until we get ourselves a clue nest. I want to get the first clue of the episode this way instead of through combat because we do need to train these skills on our account. The stats that we're going to need to complete every clue step are actually really high. And there's level 11 woodcutting, we can use our black axe now. So we are eventually going to need to have level 90 woodcutting in order to complete every master clue step. And as woodcutting is a skill that we have access to right now, and it will also have a chance of giving us clue scrolls, I feel like this is a good way to get started. And there we go, level 15 woodcutting. So time to move on to oak trees. I always love unlocking oak trees on a new account because suddenly woodcutting becomes AFK, and we all know the best way to play RuneScape is to find a way to play less of it. And there's level 16 already. Anyway, let's see what level we end up with before we get a clue nest. Well, there's our first bird's nest, but it's not the kind we're looking for. Curry tree seed though, can't complain. Levels coming in pretty fast right now. There's level 20 woodcutting. There's level 25. One more log to go. And there's level 30, so we can now chop willow trees. So it's time to move ourselves over here. Oh, cool. We've completed a medium task in the lumberage area. That's pretty nice. Level 35, feeling alive. 40 woodcutting and still not a single clue nest. All right, finally, we're seeing a nest on the floor. And it's a medium clue scroll as well. Now that's awesome because the rewards from medium clues can be a lot better than what you can get from easies and beginners. You know, there's that special pair of green boots that might just become available. Now the issue that we may run into at this point is that we might not be able to complete this clue. There are quite a lot of medium clue steps that do have some requirements with them. And currently, although we've managed to get ourselves 42 woodcutting, which is nice, we don't have a lot of things unlocked on the account. So I guess the only thing we can do is just try to complete it and see what happens. Let's check the first step. Quick spin for good luck. Okay, so we fail on the first step. Before we even go anywhere, we've already failed. We need to do these two emotes, Jump for Joy and Jig, which is fine. But we also need to be wearing a brown apron, an adamant medium helm, and snakeskin chaps. And we can't get any of those items in the chunks that we've got unlocked already, which means that we can't complete the clue. So that's very unfortunate, and what an anticlimactic start to the episode. But we're gonna have to just go and drop that clue. Now that we've achieved my first goal for the episode though, I want to head back into Lumbridge, start killing men again, because it's definitely time for us to grind out a few more easy and beginners. Ones that we have a good chance of completing so that we can get ourselves a little bit more content and unlock some more things that we can do to increase the chances of us completing higher level clue scrolls. Before we leave and head back to Lumbridge though, I actually want to check out the Draenor dungeon, or the Draenor sewers. I can't remember what they're called. So as the entrance to this place is located in a chunk that we've already got unlocked, we actually have access to the entirety of this little dungeon. Now I don't think there's very much down here, but we might as well have a little search around. Okay, so there's an anvil down here, an everlasting fire, and also this bloke here called Ruantun. I think he's involved in a quest, but I can't remember which one it is. Hello, you shouldn't be down here. He looks pretty evil, he's got like snake eyes. So I guess we'll just leave. So I guess there isn't very much down here for us to use, so we're just gonna leave and get on with our plan. Okay, we're back in Lumbridge, and the first thing that we're going to be doing is picking up this knife right here. And the reason we need that is because it's always useful to have a knife in the bank anyway. We really should have picked that up earlier on. And also we got quite a few logs while we were training woodcutting to get that ultimately useless medium clue. So I think what we're going to do is train our fletching. The highest level fletching that we're going to need for this account is actually level 81, and that's so that we can fletch rune darts. So as we've got some logs, we might as well just get started. It's also never going to hurt us to have a little bit of extra cash, as fletching and selling bows can be a relatively easy money maker, even though you don't make that much money. Okay, so we've used up all of the regular logs, and we still need quite a few more to hit level 20 fletching, which will allow us to process our oak logs. Now I'd actually like to get all of my oak and willow logs processed, so we're actually going to go back to woodcutting for a little while, and we're going to fletch and sell to the general store as we go. This way we're going to make quite a bit of money, which will help us quite a lot down the line, and getting levels on the account is always a good thing. Alright, and there is level 20 fletching. We can now fletch ourselves some oak short bows. So we're going to sell off all of our regular longbows and get started on processing those oak logs. And there is level 35 fletching coming in. Looks like we're done with our miniature fletching grind. We can just go to the bank now and process all of our willow logs, and then we're going to move on and start doing some clues. You also might notice that I got onto the bird's nest, but unfortunately there was no clue inside. And this is the last of the logs all processed now, finishing off with a nice clean level 40 fletching. And after selling everything to the general store, we've made just over 15k, so that's pretty good if you ask me. Now that we're finished with skilling, it's time to get back on with hunting clues. So we're going to be killing men and women and hoping for those beautiful drops. And there is the first easy clue scroll of the video. That really didn't take too long to get, so I'm pretty happy about that. This account seems to be really lucky on easies and unlucky on beginner clues, but I'm not complaining. Let's open it up and see what we get. Search the drawers upstairs in the bank to the east of Varrock. Let's go, boys. And if you've not seen the first episode and you're unsure about the rules and why I'm now allowed to run through this forbidden area, I highly recommend you check out the first episode because I go through the rules in great detail there. There's also a linked document in the description so that you can check out the rules yourself. But in a nutshell, as we have a clue scroll, we're able to travel through locked chunks in order to complete clue steps, but we're not allowed to gain any other kind of progress, XP, items, anything like that at all while we do so. Alright, let's take a little looky inside. And there is the second step of the beginner clue. Now, unfortunately, we can't complete this clue. And the reason for that is that it's an emote clue. And we need to have a blue wizard hat, bronze two-hand sword, and hand boots in order to complete it. Now, we don't have any of those items at the minute. We could go and get a bronze two-hand sword from the Tavali chunk, which we unlocked last episode, because we can buy them from this shop right here, but we don't have any way to access that chunk as everything around it is actually locked, and as our clue step isn't inside this chunk, we're not allowed to just travel there through the locked chunks. We also need a blue wizard hat and hand boots, and we don't have either of those or any way of getting those right now, so we are unfortunately going to have to drop this clue and go and look for another one. We're back killing men for clues again, and there's level 20 defense, bringing us to base level 20 melee stats. And not even half an hour later, there is a beginner clue. Now, I'm really hoping that we don't get a Charlie step on this because I don't think we're actually able to complete any of them. So let's take a look at what the first step is. Hunting in Barbarian Village, no worries. And we'll talk to Hunding, who gives us another clue. And there we go. Unfortunately, that is another clue scroll that we're going to need to drop. We need to wear a chef's hat and a red cape and go to Varrock. Now, we do have a chef's hat in the bank, but unfortunately we don't have any way to get the red cape. So I guess it's time to head back to Lumbridge. We have now killed over 500 men and women this episode. Now, I know that doesn't sound like that many, but it's actually taken quite a long time, and we've actually gone really dry on clue scrolls now. It's been about 300 since the last beginner or easy clue, so all of that luck that we were getting in the beginning of the episode has disappeared. But that's okay. We don't give up around here. We power through until we get the job done. I'm going to give you a brief tour of my bank. This is loot from 500 men. There's a bit of clue scroll loot and some stuff that I collected, like the seeds and the money from other places around the game. But yeah, around 137k from those guys. Overall, pretty bad. but at least we're going to have a good stock of herbs for when we unlock Herblore. And finally, we have another clue scroll. Now, let's pray to RN Jesus, please. Let's get a nice, easy clue. Let's get a new chunk unlocked. Okay, we've got a Reldo step. That is awesome because we can do this. The first step has brought us to the wheat field by Drainer Village, and we get a new clue. Okay, Brian in the Port Sarim Battle Axe shop. Let's go see him. Have you got a casket for me, Brian? Yes, he does. Fantastic. So we've unlocked a brand new chunk. Now this one, actually, I'm pretty happy with. It unlocks us quite a lot of content. We're now able to buy fishing gear. There's a nice place for us to cook. There is the rat pits, which we have access to if we were to ever complete the rat catcher's quest. We've got a magic shop, and we also have a place where we can buy slightly better food. So let's open up this casket and see what we get. Not too bad, you know, for a beginner clue. It's definitely not the worst thing we could have ever had. Some lore runes are always nice, a couple of fire runes, and a nice leather chap upgrade. Not the perfect thing to wear on your legs, but definitely an upgrade from nothing. So I'd like to spend a bit of time exploring this chunk now. Because it's actually cut off from the Drainer Village chunk by this wall here, we aren't able to bank at all, which is pretty unfortunate. I wish I'd have known that we'd unlock this step before we did it, because I would have brought my cash stack along with me. I guess that's something that I'm going to have to learn from now on. Always bring the cash stack with you when you go in to unlock a step, just in case. So Brian has definitely got a pretty massive weapon upgrade for us as well. So an Adamant Battle Axe will cost us 4,160 GP. Looks like there's a single bronze bolt spawn here. This magic shop here in Betty's Emporium is really amazing for the account because it gives us access to Eyes of Newt, which is going to be an incredible resource for Herblore training when we eventually unlock it. We can also buy ourselves a little bit of a magic upgrade and all of these different types of runes right here. The issue that we have right now is that our bank is in Drainer or in Lumbridge, and unfortunately, because of this wall right here, we can't get to the bank. So that means that we're going to need to find a moneymaker in this chunk before we leave it, because after we leave, who knows when we're going to be able to get back. There's an NPC that spawns here, which is called a Thief. It's level 16, and I've just had a quick look at the drop table, and it appears to have the exact same drop table as ordinary men and women. And that's pretty disappointing, considering that it's a much higher level and it is going to take more for us to fight it. You would expect to be able to get a little bit more of a reward for killing it. We also still have access to level 2 men and women in this chunk, which means that we can just fight them and hope for some loot from them. We can also get more clue scrolls here as well, so at least we have that. We're also picking up a white apron from Gerent's fishing shop because there are multiple clue steps which require you to wear one of these, so it's definitely worthwhile us picking one up. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like there is really going to be any decent money makers in this chunk for us. It really does suck that we got here without access to a bank, so we can't buy some weapon upgrades or some runes, but rules are rules, unfortunately. So what we are going to do is kill this man and this woman until they drop us another clue scroll. Maybe we'll go extremely dry and we'll kill so many of them that we can afford to get a couple of upgrades while we're here. Level 30 strength coming in from men and women only. Our inventory is looking pretty full right now, and obviously there's no bank in Port Sarim. Luckily though, we don't have to drop everything to keep on going, and we don't have to keep leaving all of those precious, delicious herbs on the floor, because thankfully there's a farming patch here, and with every farming patch comes a trusty old leprechaun. And if we use our herbs on him, he's going to note them for us. So we can do that with every single different type of herb, and even though we will still have to use a few inventory spaces, we can just keep coming back here to note everything and then carry on killing those men and women and looking for a new clue scroll. And with that actually pretty nice drop, it's time for us to leave Port Sarim with a grimy Ranar weed and an easy clue scroll. So let's see where this takes us. Looks like we're heading off to Varrock. Let's go. Here are the crates. Let's have a look inside. Another clue. And we're going to go and speak to Arnheim, just south of Catherby Bank. Here we are. Will this be the casket? Yes, it will. So we've unlocked another chunk. Now this one, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a little bit disappointed in. So we have access to the candle shop, which is, I guess, pretty useful because we're not going to have to pay 1,000 coins for a candle if we ever need one. We have a new bank. We have this house here, we have a little bit of this one, but we can't get in because the door is in the next chunk. And we also have access now to charter ships, and that is a good thing because the shop at the charter crew members is actually pretty unique, and it has a lot of useful stuff in there. We can now get ourselves everything that you would find in a general store, along with some of these extra little bits down here. I'm going to pick up a lobster pot from here just in case we need one and we unlock a lobster fishing spot. And I'm also going to be picking up a Tyrus Helm. That's going to actually be quite a big upgrade for us. Look at that. Looking good now. Wow, what a Chad. What an absolute Chad. And we've even got ourselves a Freaky Forester random event. So let's talk to him. And we'll just hand that pheasant back over to him. Okay, there we go. The lederhosen top, real nice. Looking pretty good there, but I think we're going to keep hold of our sandwich lady top for now. Anyway, this Tyrus helm is actually a pretty big upgrade for us. If we have a little look and compare it to the bronze medium helm, it's actually going to give us +6 in slash and stab and +5 in crush and range bonus. So overall, a really cool upgrade. Now, I don't think we're going to be spending much time in this chunk, to be honest. Unfortunately, there just isn't very much for us to do here. I am pretty disappointed, as when we first unlocked it, I thought we were going to unlock farming. But as you can see, that farming patch is just into the forbidden zone and we can't go in there yet. That is extremely disappointing. Looks like there's a guy called Purdue here that we can trade. Let's see what he's got. I'm afraid I don't have anything for you today. Okay, never mind. We can also just make it into this house. And let's see what's upstairs. A pie dish. Could come in handy for the night sword quest later on down the line. I'm going to buy myself a candle while we're here. Not going to hurt us to have one of those in reserves. And the other thing that we have access to in this chunk is Lefay Keep, which is not useful to us right now, but will be pretty useful when we start questing, as we have to come here for the Merlin's Crystal quest. Let's also not forget to mention the beehives around here, but there isn't really very much we can do with these. They're only really useful for the Merlin's Crystal quest as well. Okay, let's open up this casket. Quick spin for good luck. And let's go. Wow, okay, never mind. I mean, at least we got a bit of an armor upgrade. This actually will give us some protection on our body. Issue is though, we can't actually wear it. We need level 20 range. So into the bank it goes. So now that we've got ourselves a bit of a gear upgrade and we've pretty much explored everything that this chunk has to offer, it's time to try and unlock another one. Right now, the chunks that we've got are not really complementing each other too well. There isn't really a very easy way to travel between them. I'm glad, however, that we have unlocked the charter ship store from this one, meaning that if we can unlock another chunk with a charter ship on it, we can easily travel between these two. So I'm hoping to unlock a few that are gonna open up the map a little bit for us. We want to start trying to work on a giant landmass if we can. So let's get going. We're gonna stay here and make the most of our new chunk and grind out these men until we get another clue. Oh no. Ah, he ran into the forbidden zone. Ah, he's back. Come here. Yes. Fear me, mortal. Oh wow, okay. We literally killed 2 men, and on the third one, there's another easy clue. Let's first see if we can actually finish the clue, and secondly, see if we can unlock something that's going to benefit us pretty heavily. Father Ernie's house in Lumbridge Swamp, eh? Another clue. Hairdressers in Falador, let's go. Hairdresser, have you got a casket for me? No, we've got another clue. And we're going over to the Falador Park, okay. So for this clue step, we need to play the song On the Shore for Cecilia. Now, we don't have that song unlocked, and if we unlock the hint, we can see the track unlocks at Corset Cove. Now that means that this clue step is locked behind the quest, the Corset Curse. And as we don't have the chunks unlocked to be able to complete the quest naturally right now, we're only allowed to complete that quest if we already have the stats required. Now, there are no specific stats required for this quest. However, we need to be able to fight a level 35 mage. Now, I'm fairly sure that we are going to be able to do this fight. It is going to be a bit of a risk as we only have melee armor available to us right now and absolutely no magic defense at all. But I think if we're careful and we take lots of food, we should be okay. So I'm going to go for it. Alright, so I started the quest and then home teleported back to Lumbridge, and the reason I'm doing that is because, like an idiot, I forgot that you can buy a pretty nice upgrade from Bob's Axes, and as we've got a little boss to fight, we're going to need all of the firepower we can get. So we're buying ourselves a Mithril Battle Axe from Bob's Axes. That's going to be our best in slot weapon for quite a long time, I think. Now, it would have been a little bit more efficient for us just to go to the battle axe shop in Port Sarim to do this, as that chunk has been unlocked. However, as the quest that we're on doesn't take us directly through that chunk, and we don't have any other way of getting there that follows our rules, like through teleports or instant travel methods, for example, I'm not allowed to make use of that chunk. But as we can get to this chunk by home teleporting, we can make use of it and then get back on with the quest. All right, it's time to fight Itholi right now. So I guess we're just gonna see how we do. I don't have a teleport to run away if everything goes wrong, but we can just run down the stairs and hopefully that will be okay. Good thing I've got a lot of food with me, as this is probably the first time that we're seriously risking the hardcore status. So in general, I don't think I'm going to show much of the questing that I have to do to unlock clue steps, as they are exceptions and not really what the series is about. So in future, if we come across something like this, I'll just say what we've got to do and then let you know when it's done. That way we can keep the focus on the clues and the loot and the chunks. There we go. And quest complete. All right then, let's get this clue step complete. Cecilia, have you got a casket for me? You do. Fan-bloody-tastic. We have unlocked yet another chunk, and this one is a big one. We have unlocked the main western side of Falador. This gives us access to the White Knight's castle, which also has Death's domain in it. We've got a jewelry shop over here, a bank, a pub, a general store, a mace shop, hairdressers. We also have an estate agent, which is super important because we can now buy ourselves a house, which means that when we unlock the square in Rimington or anywhere else that has a house portal, we can start doing construction. And we're going to need to start training construction before we can start building stash units. So that is an extremely important unlock for us. The other thing that's cool about this chunk is that there is a teleport location right here. It's level 37 magic, so we are going to need to do a little bit of magic training before we can really get started there. But this chunk does become easily accessible to us once we make it there. So overall, even though we don't have easy access to this chunk just yet, it is an incredible unlock for us. So let's open up this casket and see what we get in the reward. Oh, a plate body upgrade, fantastic. A lovely black plate body, a little bit more noted trout, nice one, and a duplicate black axe. No uniques, unfortunately, but we are now protecting ourselves. Look at this absolute beast of a man. Look at this gear. Have you ever seen anyone so menacing before? So let's take a look around this chunk, see if there's anything useful on the ground that we need to pick up now, as we are going to spend a little bit of time here, but as soon as we leave, we're not going to be able to come back until level 37 magic, or until we get another clue step in this area. Nice, we've got a cooked chicken in the room upstairs from Cassie's shield shop. Oh, I forgot about this. Mahogany Homes is located in Falador. Now, we need to complete the Daddy's Home mini quest, which is located in Varrock, before we can start doing it. But once we do that, we could train a little bit of construction here. Although we could be tasked with going to other cities that we haven't unlocked yet, there is a chance we can get a bit of XP. So that's something to keep in mind. We're also going to go and talk to the estate agent and buy our first house. Yes, please. Thank you. Go to the Rimington house portal and you will find your house ready for you to start building in it. As it turns out, you can actually climb to the very top of a huge tower just above the general store. I never knew you could get this high up. Wow, what a view. Now, I know there's a mace shop here, and I'm pretty sure that there isn't anything that he can sell me that's going to be much of an upgrade, but let's just have a look. An Adamant Mace is available. Is that an upgrade from a Mithril Battle Axe? So I've just looked up its stats, and maces will do crush damage, whereas battle axes will do slash. But an Adamant Mace will actually do 25 crush, whereas a Mithril Battle Axe will do 22 slash. So it is technically an upgrade, and you get a prayer bonus with a mace, but a lot more enemies are weak to slash compared to crush, so we're not going to bother getting a mace. Right, this is an NPC I didn't know existed at all, the Drunken Man. I've had a look at his drop table, and just like so many other NPCs in the game, it is exactly the same as normal men and women all around RuneScape, except this guy's level 3, whereas they're level 2, so I guess he might be a little bit more of a challenge to kill. Now let's not forget our new access to the White Knights here. They have quite an interesting drop table. The majority of it is pretty standard. You know, you've got the herb drop table, you've got the rare drop table, and the gem drop table as well, which would give us a chance of getting a dragon spear or a shield left half. However, on the gem drop table, those items are actually only available if you've completed the Legends quest, and as we haven't, they would just drop us a talisman if we were to roll those items, which is a bit disappointing, but they do still drop us some pretty decent stuff like uncut gems. We can get steel items like a steel sword, steel medium helm. They also drop a good amount of runes, including nature runes and lore runes, as well as a lot of seeds that we can use for farming when we finally unlock that skill. They are, however, a little bit of a high level for us to grind out consistently, especially with the amount of food that we've got right now. So we're just going to take a look around the castle, looking for little red dots, and see if there's anything useful we can get from here. Well, it looks like the White Knights keep a pretty tight ship around here, because I've just wandered around the entire castle, all of the floors, and I haven't been able to find a single item on the ground. But that's okay, we'll come back to them and have a bit of a White Knight massacre, a bit of a Falador massacre, if you know what I mean, boys. I guess the last thing to talk about when it comes to Falador is probably the most important part of it for our account, and that is the guards here. Now, they're level 21, and they have a 1 in 128 chance of dropping us a medium clue scroll. So this area right here is basically the perfect spot for us to grind them out, and hopefully complete some and unlock ourselves some tasty ass new chunks. Unfortunately though, as there isn't anywhere in this chunk really for us to replenish our food supplies, and just drinking beer from the pub over here is not really gonna be suitable. And neither is cooked chicken either, because it's just such a low healing food. We're gonna have to hold off on that medium clue grind for a little while. So as the only NPC in this chunk that will drop us an easy or beginner clue scroll, we are gonna be fighting the Drunken Man. And there he goes. No clue scroll this time, but we're going to keep on going, and this is going to be our grind for now. And look at that, it didn't even take many kills. I think we did around 7 or so drunken men killed there, and we already got another easy clue scroll. I wonder where this clue scroll is going to take us. Well, unfortunately, we're just going to have to keep wondering until the next episode, because that's where we're going to be leaving it for today. I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been watching my videos and supporting my channel. The response to my last video has been absolutely insane, and you guys really are absolute legends. So if you have enjoyed the video, please do give it a like. It really helps me out, helps with the algorithm, and lets me know that you're enjoying the content. If you haven't already subscribed, then it's free. Might as well click that little red button down there, and that way you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See you later, guys.